So, Gresafu is the chairman of the Film Classification Committee. Welcome, big brother.
Thank you, sir.
Ria is also seated. Today we'll have a very fine conversation.
Yes.
The National Film Authority Film Classification Committee has released a statement. This came out last week.
Yeah.
So, as it is stated in the Development and Classification of Film Act 935, all audiovisual content shall be previewed and classified before exhibition. After several consultations with various stakeholders of the audiovisual industry in Ghana, the general public is hereby expected to note: 1. From 1st May 2021, no television station, cinema theater, or movie screening center shall show any unclassified audiovisual content. Such audiovisual content, that's 2. Number 2, such audiovisual content include feature films, short films, TV series, selected TV programs, documentaries, advertisements, music videos meant for public exhibition and broadcasting. 3, a right owner, licensed or licensee, or assignee who desires to exhibit an audiovisual content shall submit the content to the Film Classification Committee for examination and classification at least 21 days before the intended exhibition. 4, kindly find attached to the film classification criteria. 5, anyone who fails to comply with the set rules shall be subject to the offenses and penalties in Section 27 of the Development and Classification of Film Act 935. Signed, Socrates Safo, Chairman, Film Classification Committee, National Film Authority. And they copied Ghana Independent Broadcasters Association, that's GIBA, Musicians Union of Ghana, Musica, Film Producers Association of Ghana, FIPAG, Advertisers Association of Ghana, AAG, Film and Advertising Production Companies, TV stations and broadcasters, film exhibitors, and the media. The film classification criteria is quite lengthy. In fact, it's lengthy. So I wish we would take it one by one. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
so this film classification or this public announcement,
Yeah.
what called for it?
Well, as per every law, you need to sensitize the public about it, and the stakeholders must also know what it states. Somewhere last year, the board was formed, and we set to work. We gave ourselves time. We put everything together, all our accoutrements and everything that we need. So we decided to set. We gave a date. We went around, and personally, I was part of the team that visit almost every TV station to have a conversation with them about what the law states. Just when we were about to start, then we got a call from GIBA, and they requested that they would like to have a meeting with us because some of their members have come to them. So we went, we had a meeting, and we also expressed our surprise.
What were they saying? What
they
were
said
their concerns?
Their concern, one, well, they also have legitimate concerns because they didn't understand some of the things in the law. Because one, you have the constitution that also protects the media. There shall be no censorship and all that about the media and
Right.
controls and things like that. So we had that meeting. We explained. It's been back and forth for almost a year now, until just recently we had our final meeting where we crossed all the T's and dot the I's, and we set a date that is May 1st for us to start implementing the law. GIBA is in because the law says that before a content is exhibited, and with this law, it includes TV and public screening. cinemas, cinema houses and all that, movie houses and all that. So that is how come Giba also came in.
Speaking of movie houses, must there be any censorship?
It's not censorship, classification.
Classification, I beg your
Yes.
pardon. Must there be any classification?
Yeah, the law says that any content that is going public, the public will see.
But
and be
how would
classified.
you, okay, so I know there are private rooms.
Mhm.
So there, how would you tell what
It's public.
some,
People go,
yes,
pay money to go and
they
watch.
choose their own movies.
Yes.
So how would you know what someone is watching?
Well, they have their
Let's
library.
not tickle ourselves and laugh.
They have the library. They have their library
Mm.
where people pick the films. Yes.
They are rated. They're rated.
No.
Right? They're not. Okay.
They are not.
Okay. So in 2020, you issued almost the same statement.
Yeah.
And nothing happened. What
That's-
happened? And people were even saying that, oh, you guys are just barking and you can't bite. True to their words, nothing happened.
That's why when I said Giba called us.
What was it at the time that
Yes.
statement was released?
Yes.
Okay.
When we released that statement, and we've approached all their members, and then they call us as a mother association.
Mm.
So we've had series of meetings. It's been almost 1 year now, back and forth. It's not been easy because they have the laws that guiding them. Just that there was some small misunderstanding as to what this law is saying, where this law is coming from, and where their law they are being protected from is also coming from. So we've had that understanding now.
That they can show, but must be rated.
Must be rated. We don't decide for you whether you can show or not show. No, you can show. Ours is only to just rate it and give it a time that you can show. There are certain things we can also classify, like newsreel, current affairs programs and all that. No, it doesn't cover it.
I see. You in the content you mentioned something that it must be whatever they want to show must be subject to review. Is that the
Yes.
case? So must they bring it to you before?
The TV station don't own the contents. It's the content owner. Music videos are not owned by the TV stations.
Right.
Unless they sponsor it.
Mm.
Do you understand? But from our practice, we know that the TV stations don't own the music videos. So this law is not on the music, the TV station. It is on the owners of the content.
Right. So
They will bring it.
in the case where I have my music video,
Yeah.
I must subject it for review before I send it to a
To the
TV station.
Yes. So it's not a TV station. This law is not on the TV station. They are only making sure that what you are bringing is classified. That's all. And per the classification, then they will know when to show it.
Okay. It makes a lot of sense.
Do you understand?
Last year, when you came up with the statement, I remember we had a discussion
Yeah.
right here, and the issue of music videos came up.
Yeah.
How many did you receive
At that time.
at the time?
Well,
Because
that's why I'm saying
no,
that.
no, hold on. Sorry, I didn't let you end, but Giba has nothing to do with content owners, right? Because look, I have my my music video. If any TV station decides not to show it, well, I have social media. I can put it out there. No one is going to stop me unless that platform I've posted the content deems it unworthy,
Yeah.
all right, or not favorable for public content or public consumption. So until Giba stepped in, or even when they stepped in, people still had their music videos showing on television.
Yeah.
How many did you receive?
Well, we didn't receive any.
Why?
Why? I'm not the one who produced the content. It's up to the content owner to bring it. He decided not to bring it.
So if I don't bring it, what are the measurements, or what are there any punitive measures? Because it's stated here that anyone who fails to comply with the set rules shall be subject to the offences and penalties in Section 27 of the Development and Classification of Film Act 935. So in this case, If I fail to bring it,
Section what? 27.
Section 27, yes.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you,
Section
sir.
27.
Thank you.
Let's read what is there.
27, offenses and penalties. Listeners, please pay attention. A person who exhibits a film on licensed premises, A. Now, B. Rents out a film contrary to Section 11. C. Obstructs a person lawfully authorized under Section 13 or 26 from entering and inspecting the premises or theater. D. Is a distributor or exhibitor and fails to submit a film to the board for preview and classification contrary to Section 19. E. Fails to display a notice on the licensed premises or theater and the publicity materials in front of the theater or premises contrary to Section 21. F. Exhibits a film during the hours prohibited by the board. G. Admits a person declared by this act to be ineligible for admission on licensed premises or into a theater. Or H. Does any act contrary to this act, commits an offense, and is liable on summary conviction to a fine or not less than 1,000 penalty units and not more than 10,000 penalty units, or imprisonment for a term of not less than 1 year and not more than 5 years, or to both, and in the case of a continuing offense, to a further fine of 100 penalty units for each day that the prohibited act continues.
Yeah, that's the law.
Baku.
We in baku.
So me you know about me you know one. But Ria
when I kind of because what's a brofu, I don't know brofu here there into our kind of but also was here. So I bet 2 was in Yakon 1 year. Okay,
but I took my time to do it.
You were reading like you are.
I had to because because if you fail to comply, Section 27 has spelled them out.
Okay.
But I'm a content creator, so I create my content, and I failed to bring it. And you are telling me subject to 100 penalty units for each day. What is the penalty units? 100 penalty units.
1 penalty unit, I think. Let's check from the law people.
Okay.
They know the value.
Okay. You see, maybe big. Let me keep it until we are done. So, so it doesn't go back and forth.
And you be simple. What you're seeing, and this is not a new law. This is not a new law. This law has been there since the days of Kwame Nkrumah. You understand? Then it came to the Fourth Republic, where we took out censorship and used classification. Nothing has changed. It has been the same thing, only that we have added new media, new platforms to it. That's all. Filmmakers have been classifying their films ever since. Uncle Ken should have been here. If you call Uncle Ken, he will tell you.
I'm sure he's listening. He listens to us every morning.
He's been part of it ever since. So it's nothing new. If you are in the industry, you know that well. Once you produce your content, you take it for classification. That's all.
Meanwhile, they are not bringing it.
If they are not bringing it, Masa, it's up to them.
That's why the penalties are there. You've spelled them out. So, meanwhile, it is not taking effect.
No. If you say it's not taking effect,
has it taken any effect? Has the law beaten anyone yet?
I beg you. Then I take you back to our release, and it gives you the date, paragraph 1. From 1st May 2020, no television station, cinema theater, or movie screening center shall show any unclassified audiovisual content.
You just mentioned that this classification board or team has been there since.
Yes.
And so are you telling me there was no law governing the team?
I don't understand.
That there were no penalties back then?
There were penalties.
That's why I'm asking. Has it beaten anyone yet? Because people are flouting it day in, day out.
I don't understand.
What I'm saying is that,
I'm getting confused.
Okay, so for example, I produced a movie called Hot Fork.
Yes.
Fork. Well,
yes.
So.
And it was classified.
It was classified.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I'm saying I produced a movie. Not your Hot Fork.
Okay.
So I have produced a movie called Hot Fork. I mean, whoever hears it on radio go like, hey, this guy is being vulgar, even without knowing the spelling or spelling the right, the words, the letters in there. I beg your pardon. So I don't subject it to any classification. It doesn't show anything pornography. It has no bad or nudity, sex scenes, whatever. It's just the title that is catchy.
Yeah.
So I put it out there. And all of a sudden, people are calling for a ban on the movie. Their movie no ako hot folk. Why in the Then without people, I'm sure you even received that kind of backlash. People didn't even take time to watch the movie, and all of a sudden they were bashing you. So in the case where I don't subject it to the classification board for any review, and then someone somewhere, now that social media, everything, we can easily cut some scenes, title it Hot Fork and put it out. Once I see Hot Fork now, and I see, what's the name of the beautiful lady that starred in, the lady that works with us, your girl,
Baby
the tall
Blanche.
girl, Baby Blanche. So I see Baby Blanche and I go like, that's Socrates movie. Is this what's in the movie? Probably it's someone's own edition.
Yeah.
Someone may have edited it. And then immediately I see it, I start putting fire on you without any proper showing. We give you a backlash. What happens to it? You've not taken it to them and it's being showed on a public platform. Do you understand? And there's no law. Nothing is checking, or no one is checking what happens to it. All this while, we've seen movies on TV, people kissing, people flirting, sexual content. Some of them are shown in the afternoon. I'm in the same group with you. Recently, someone posted something they were showing. They said it had to do with gayism a few days ago, right? I think you saw it. Yes. I'm a time to me. I didn't even find time to watch it at all. But people found it to be extremely graphic and it wasn't necessary. So in this case, what happens to the TV station?
The TV station, according to the law, is the exhibitor. So for showing content that has not been classified, also falls foul of the law. Do you understand? You also fall foul of the who send American brother for the crown. Also Tomra.
Right.
So from the exhibitor to the content owner, you are all guilty.
Let's look at the film classification criteria. The Film Classification Committee is a committee formed by the National Film Authority and mandated by the Development and Classification of Film Act 935 to preview and classify any audiovisual content intended for public exhibition in Ghana. The following categories of audiovisual content are set within the scope of materials to be classified by the Film Classification Committee. 1. Feature film. 2. Short film. 3. TV series and selected TV programs. 4. Documentary. 5. Advertisement. And 6. Music video. Uncle Sok.
Yeah.
What do you want? The way we are the film classification rules shall apply to selected TV programs that directly impact on the social, cultural, and moral conscience of the people of Ghana. Example, sex education programs, talk shows, etc. However, the rule shall not apply to other types of TV programming, such as news, newsreel, and current affairs programs, sports, events, games, teleshopping, and in-house productions by the various TV stations. Let's pause here. I have a problem.
Okay.
You mentioned that the rule shall not apply to other types of TV programming, such as news, newsreel, I understand, current affairs programs. Now, you mentioned sports.
Yeah.
Now, most of these sports programs are sponsored by alcoholic beverages. So what happens here? If, let's say, I'm watching or I'm enjoying football with my kids, just yesterday we were discussing the FDA and their ban on these advertisements. So in this case, what happens?
I don't understand. What happens in what sense? We are looking at the content.
You said it doesn't. Yes, content.
Yeah, we don't.
Football is, well,
We don't
the matches are
classify
content.
sports.
Why?
Well, it falls under programs that we don't classify.
Hey, Uncle Zook.
Yeah.
I think it's probably because it is produced by the television station itself. So
It's not produced by the TV station itself. Tell me which match that GTV has produced.
So, Andy.
Yes, I'm asking because these beverages They advertised after
So
8 p.m.
your concern is about the advert or the sports
No,
program?
because once they are sponsoring the match, their content, their products are
But
advertised.
the law says that we classify the adverts.
Yes.
Yeah.
So in the case where we're watching EPL, how do you call it? EPL? EPL, and then all of a sudden, because
But
of
the
radio,
advert,
I don't want to mention names.
Wait, the advert that will be played is subject to classification. That's all. So if the advert is let's say an 18 advert, you can't show it in the afternoons, whether EPL or
So
whatever.
a government station like GTV
Okay.
is showing, let's say, Arsenal versus Juventus, and it's sponsored by an alcoholic beverage like Heineken.
Okay. But the adverts.
Yes, and the
Okay.
adverts,
The
once
Heineken,
it is alcohol,
For
please,
us,
Uh-huh.
our criteria is different from what FDA is looking at. Do you understand?
Is that not alcohol?
Wait, I beg you. Our criteria is different from what FDA is looking at.
What is your
FDA
criteria?
Our criteria, we have given it, it's also there. We look at the content, language. If you will give me
I'll
permission.
give it.
Yeah, we look at the theme, the language, nudity, sex,
Violence,
violence,
horror, drugs.
drugs. Yeah, this is what we look out for. Do you understand? We are
I
not
made
looking at.
I made an example. I'm sorry if because I just had information that GTV doesn't have rights to show. As I said, for example.
For example, yeah.
I made an example.
Yeah.
So,
But it can be Joy
Accra
News.
Premier
yes,
League.
yes. So
Yeah,
let's say Joy
Joy
News.
News,
So
yes.
forgive me if I mentioned GTV. All I said was that for example.
Yeah.
For example. Yes, I made an example.
Yeah.
That
You have a good producer.
Yes. That's why we are a winning team. So, for example,
I'm quite
that-
attentive.
oh yeah, it's very important. Very important. No, because as I speak, I can make mistakes.
Yeah,
I'm human.
yeah.
So
As you always do.
yes. So great is me in there. Are you
Are you okay?
okay?
Hitz FM.
So listeners, yes. So it comes up, and I'm watching it with my children,
Yeah.
and they're seeing
Yeah.
an advert by an alcoholic beverage. And the classification board is telling me that, well, theirs is different from the FDA.
Yeah.
And so,
You can for us, I can tell you that you bring an advert. It may be an alcohol. What we look out for, like I said, may be different from what FDA is also looking out for. Do you understand? So we may pass it. It may be safe for the public to watch from us, but FDA, because maybe it is alcohol, for FDA, maybe because it is alcohol, they also have what they are looking out for. Yes, so we are poles apart, and we are all looking out for something else.
I see. Listeners, in case you just tuned in, you're listening to Showbiz Review. In the studio, I'm talking to the chairman of the National Film Authority.
No.
Yes, sir. Film Classification Committee. And we're having a discussion on their new release about film classification. It's very, very important. I know that there will be sanity on our screens. You have any? You want to have any interaction? Or
Interaction on the topic.
you have any question to ask?
Oh no, I mean, I
I can see
think.
today you are confusing.
No,
I'm not confusing her.
I'm not
No.
confused.
She is confusing you.
Oh no. No. Hey, and I cried here, yo. Hey.
Really?
Share. We are all dressing now.
I see.
Share.
Because me and Miti and say my basa.
You are seeing things.
Yeah.
What are you seeing?
And never mind. You ask your question. Go ahead.
Yes. So it's not a question per se. I'm just quite excited that this classification thing is happening, so that movie producers and writers would actually be very, very creative as to what to produce on our for us to watch on our television sets, because it was quite appalling some years back where some storylines were very flat and they just sprinkled in some sex scenes, and then people were excited. They just wanted to see the sex scenes. I mean, I don't want to mention names, but there were a few productions that came out that, to me, let me just say, I'm not speaking for anyone, to me didn't make a lot of sense. But because of the sex scenes, people were excited, the nudity and, the vulgar language, people were quite excited about. So let's wait to 1st May or after 1st May and see how full effect this law is going to, be implemented. Because, I mean, you've said already that for some time, like, the law has been in existence for a couple of years now, right? And I think the problem with it is the implementation of the law and the penalties that came with the law. I mean, it wasn't being enforced. So let's just wait till after 1st May, and then when it is implemented, we would see what. I mean, of course, some grievances will come up, because maybe people would say that there might be a personal vendetta between maybe one of the people on the classification board and the artist or the producer or the distributor of the movies. So maybe it's not being shown, or it's not being, So wait, apart from sexual nudity and vulgar language, what again would flout the classification laws?
You see?
You mentioned that drugs, horror.
Drugs, horror.
See, the way the law is, and I will advise every content producer.
Did you just say horror?
Yeah,
you mentioned.
But you are the producer of Chewa, right?
Yes.
Isn't it
I'm
horror?
part of Chewa.
Wasn't it a horror movie?
It was.
It was a horror movie. So would you say that it will not be classified?
Okay. Help me here. Let's say a film that is classified, let's say 12,
Okay.
or PG.
Yeah.
Horror is part of it. We will look at the level of
The scare it causes.
Yes. Do you understand? Then that will determine what ratings we give it.
But
Do you understand?
my problem with this is how would you say that this is universally too scary? Because let's say personally, maybe if I watch a movie and I see one snake, I cannot watch the movie again. You understand?
Okay.
And then someone might be okay. I mean, there are 12-year-old kids that are okay with seeing snakes and other stuff on television. So what is your survey that shows that, okay, maybe this one, it is too horror for children,
Okay.
like from 12 years and below?
Good question.
What is your
It's all been defined
criteria?
in the here. It's all
Uncle
been
Sok,
defined.
please read it so we can
Yeah.
hear it. Uncle Sok, please.
Okay. Universal for all categories of persons. A content should be set within a positive framework to portray good values, decency, and positive lessons, as well as entertainment, and should offer reassuring counterbalances to any violence, threat, or horror. Content with a U rating are aimed at very young children, although they are marketed as content for adults. If a content receives a U ratings, it means that the elements in the content are suitable and does not threaten the socio-cultural and political conscience of the general public. A content classified as U shall be, in the judgment of the board, meet the following criteria. The theme: the content should not contain violence, threats, abuse, horror, or other themes that may cause fear or disturbance to a young child's mind. The film may contain polite dialogue or other word representations, but not profane, offensive, or sexually suggestive language or gestures. Nudity. The film may contain occasional as well as natural non-sexual nudity. The film cannot contain, when it comes to sex, the film cannot contain or depict any sexual activity.
Eh? Question who be son?
I think from don't worry.
You are
But
getting
I
bored.
think no.
No, she asked for me. I think this is the best question I've heard so far.
Yeah.
She said, "Which survey have you done?"
Survey have we done?
That's what she
Yes,
asked.
What is the
To do
survey?
what?
What is the survey that proves that okay, this
This scene
movie, this scene is universally accepted by a 12-year-old and below or 12-year-old.
Hold on. You allow. No, let him. I don't know what to mean. So allow him. Probably there is a survey.
So.
Yeah, so the survey is born out of these, how do you call it?
You know why Andy was reacting? Because I think from what you are reading, it's like horror movies are totally banned when it comes to
wait.
the universal film category.
No. The depiction of horror and frightening scenes should be mild, brief, infrequent, and unlikely to cause undue anxiety or fear to a young child.
Then that is not horror. Do you get it? Then that is not horror.
Okay.
What did he say? What?
It's the horror movie should not could you read?
Depict.
It shouldn't depict any horror.
No,
The depiction of horror and frightening scenes should be mild, brief, infrequent, and unlikely to cause undue anxiety or fear to young children.
That is
Because,
it. So
I mean,
the committee that is
you
watching
know-
the film, we have a committee of 5 that will watch each film independently, and they have their report sheets. So they will watch, and they have this criteria set for them. Do you understand? So when we finish, then we tabulate their results, and then we know where it falls.
Just 5 people?
Okay.
Just 5 people, just
No,
as a
because
committee
I
to
think
watch one film.
okay, I'll leave it here.
All right. Thank you. Now, what about social media, new media? I mean, yes. If I don't bring it to you and I show it or I put it out on social media, what happens to that?
Okay. Andy, as you can see per the law, we set public exhibition. Okay. For now, we are taking it one after the other. But now we are looking at theaters, television stations. So that is what we are looking at now. When we finish, then we move to the other sectors, one after the other. It's work in progress.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. So, it looks like the question people are asking, plenty questions that are coming up, are people who don't bring the videos before the release.
Okay.
Per the law, 21 days, it must be subjected to the board 21 days before the release. Right? Why?
Well, the 21 days, yesterday I got a call from one prominent music producer, and I know he's listening. He started 21 days, not going to be releasing my dinner. We are not saying 21 days per 21 days as the law. No. The 21 days there is even in favor of the content producer. If you bring your work 21 days before the release, and we are not able to give you the results, you are free to go public with it. Yes. That is what the law says.
Repeat it.
If you bring the film to us and it has been with us for 21 days and we've not been able to give you the results, you are free to go ahead and release it. Yes. It doesn't mean that it must be with us for 21 days. No. You can bring it today, this morning, and we can set up a panel and classify it for you today. Do you understand?
Hmm.
This is to protect the content producer in the sense that we don't punish you because we don't like you or we don't like your content or whatever. You bring it and we can tell you go come like some institutions may do. You understand? That's why the time frame is always
You
set
see, 21 days, we are looking at over 100 materials. So, okay, from set for a 5-member committee.
Yes.
Right? So people from...
No. The 5-member committee is for one film.
That's what I'm saying.
It's not 5-member committee doing the whole...
okay.
No. Is that how you got it?
No.
Uh-huh. If you bring your film, we have 5 people set for your film. Last film, 5 sets. So at a point in time, we have trained a lot of people. Uncle Ken did the workshop for them because he is experienced in it. All those things have been done already.
Okay.
So we have them.
Well, good morning. How are we?
Andy does.
It's been a while.
Yeah, Andy.
Welcome.
Exactly 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so it's not movable. Okay, then I have to move. It's 1 year, you know that.
It's been a year?
Yeah.
Since you left?
Uh-huh.
Is it a year already?
Of course. I did 1 year yesterday on my show.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
See, eh?
So it was intentional. I decided to come like,
today.
we made the 1 year. Wow.
Okay.
Mischief.
And I'm glad I'm here. I hope you're okay.
Good.
Yeah.
Kosher.
Yeah.
Okay, where this?
Yeah, are you okay? Yeah, Andy, so, thank you so much. This is Ria, right?
Yeah, Ria.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see. I understand your source of confusion anyway. Andy,
This guy is so mischievous, eh?
let me go to section 19 of the class, Film Act 935, okay? And this is section 19.3. Okay, 19.2. It said a right owner, line C, or assignee who desires to exhibit a film shall submit the film to the Film Classification Committee for examination and classification at least
21 days.
21 days before the intended exhibition. It does not mean that your film has to be with the board for 21 days. But 21 days before you intend to exhibit, you should send it. Now, in the wisdom of the law, it's only telling you that, okay, see, because we also need time to work on your film, make sure you bring it earlier. But the fact that you bring it doesn't mean that we should work on it within 21 days. Yes, they will try and do that. But with time, when they realize that there's too much content, they can't do it. They have to write to you. Tell, yeah, we are working on your film or your content, but we are not too sure we can finish within 21 days. And you, the line C or the assignee, you have to give them time. You can't take them to court. And you can't say, oh, because the law say 21 days, so you are going to show it. You are going to show it. They will arrest you. You understand? So you need to pay me to do the PR job for you anyway. So that is the explanation. But Andy, how are you?
I've told you I'm kosher, man.
You're what?
I'm clean.
Clean. That's your culture.
No, kosher.
You're not free. Me they say me a juma. I'm confused.
It's Hebrew. I mean kosher, clean.
Oh, okay. You're not Hebrew for Gaza. Okay. It's Andy. My main background to this whole classification thing, right? No, we'll be Socrates about
Please, you're on Hitz.
Oh yeah, sorry. I thought I was on it. You were asking Socrates about this whole thing. You see, when Dr. Kwame Nkrumah took over, he realized that the whites used film to brainwash us, to make us believe that the whites were superior in everything. So he wanted to build an industry that would change that narrative. You understand? That was the source of the energy for the late president in building the film industry. So after doing a couple of things to have the industry, in 1963 or so, they started this classification law. I think in Africa, we're the first that did that. Now, in the old law, it was censorship. So it was strict than we have it now. If they say no is no.
Don't be saying make we massage and
There's nothing. You can't do anything about it. But when the 1992 Constitution came into place, it took away censorship of all media works. And media works include film or audiovisual content. So censorship had to be taken off. That is why the law has gone through a change. And now we have the Film Act 935. 935 does not deal with censorship, but it tells you at what time you can exhibit what you want to exhibit. You ask a question about social media. Is there an exhibition platform?
Yes.
Then you have to classify. It's not just for TV. When I was coming, I was hearing TV. It's not for TV. It's for anybody that produces audiovisual content anywhere in this country. You have to classify it. And the classification doesn't mean they cannot stop you from showing it, no. But they only tell you when it is appropriate to show it. And this committee is under the National Film Authority. Just like you have the Food and Drugs Authority. When they give those rules, nobody fights them. You can talk all you want to talk, but you can't change it. That is why one of them was, not long ago, spewing a lot of moonshine about sanity being created because of adverse stuff. A lot of moonshine. You understand? It's because they feel big. An authority is a big thing. You understand? The film authority is also a big thing. Now, the only problem they might get with the FDA has to do with, FDA has classified this and has asked them to add that thing, that lengthy thing. This advert is better than classified. Okay. But when you do that, you still have to take it to a classification committee. You know why? FDA's interest is on the content of what you are selling. Is it as prescribed on the product? So I'm selling a product called Andy Dusty. You came to me for license to produce Andy Dusty. You say Andy Dusty, when I take it, me bring come meet me a swatch me pet to Kessie and so kakra. So if I put an advert out, it should describe these things. That is what.
Couldn't get anything to describe it apart from all of these things.
Oh, Brian, I say what I want to. So if you put that on TV or whatever, it's supposed to really be strict to what you said it can do. That is where FDA ends. Now, it is Socrates committee that tells you, yes, FDA has classified it, but we say it should be at 10 p.m. FDA cannot have that control because the two of them are authorities. Yours is about content of the medicine, but or whatever food product it is. But Socrates committee is about when we can show that particular advert.
Not Socrates committee, I beg you, please.
Oh, but you are here. You are chairman.
No classification, please. It's
Okay,
not
boss.
about me.
I'm sorry. So the classification committee tells you when to show it. You're following? That is where we'll have a problem. Kakra. But with time, I'm sure they can iron things out. Now, Andy, on the various, classification divisions, U to NS. My point of interest is the NS. NS means that not suitable for TV. So
Not suitable for public.
For exhibition. Sorry about that. Thanks, bro. What happened to his neck?
I stepped on it.
I'm not surprised.
The
though.
weight of
The weight of three music awards organization is breaking the boy's neck apart.
It's making the guy's neck.
Ciao, bro. But seeing you all the time makes me proud that we belong to a good party with a lot of intelligent people. Anyway,
Exactly.
that's by the way.
No, you can actually make it.
My friend, shut up there! Who has invited you here?
Charlie, you say we for shade Socrates.
And see the way they are struggling. Can you imagine?
Master,
Simple thing.
continue.
Yes, to be
we loan
continued.
our people to them. Like we are doing this morning. We are loaning.
We are going for a commercial.
Oh, hey.
Hey, say, why are you the one hosting the program?
Continue. Ola,
So,
continue.
Andy, you see, there are about 5 main points that we consider before we classify a film under any of these groupings. Look at a film that is classified maybe 18 plus, which you love watching anyway.
Me.
It has N.
I'm an adult.
Yeah,
So
of course.
if
So
I
you,
don't-
I didn't say you watch. I said you love watching.
I will.
It
love.
has all the ingredients. Wow, the ingredients.
And
where work-
acting
Sugar.
it too.
Bema
Acting
na.
it too.
Bema nothings.
He's not an actor.
Is
Oh.
that right?
Chocolate.
Are you an actor?
Oh, and he's an actor.
Have you forgotten?
Chocolate, you
Share.
can cast him. Oh.
Oh, come on with actor.
Share.
And I want transmogrify into
Oh, I see.
a musician.
Oh,
But
he
not
has a
only a
perfect-
Kumar actor. Have you
Me and
forgotten? I
Abdul
have. I had
Me, they
movies
watch the
with
whole-
all-
And
almost
the
all you
set
guys.
in what person.
What else do you do?
I
Apart from acting,
Yeah, in radio.
Oh, he does acting.
Because I'm getting new vibes every day.
but me, I do a lot of things.
Andy is an all-rounder.
Oh, okay.
His acting name is
Music,
called. His acting name is
and-
called Bemayana.
DJing, all the stuff.
What else?
I remember his signature. Oh, hi,
Yeah.
Andy, that's it. Oh, bro, I go grab it.
So great.
Please
So
continue.
Andy,
Ni acting din
so
ya
we
Bemayana.
consider
Be careful.
a few things, and I'm saying this because I've been part of this from the beginning to the end. So probably I'm too much involved to understand everything in there. So I can even close my eyes and explain to you. Now, I wanted us to start from 18, the ingredients, language. Now, when you pick language, we break it down. What type of language are we talking about? Okay, so for a child, what type of language are we thinking he shouldn't be exposed to? You watch a lot of Kumawood movies, and you could easily classify them as PG. But there's strong language, like so much insult. So because of the language alone, we may move it from PG to maybe 12.
You know, recently there was a movie like that, and the kids were watching. Once they flipped the channel and they saw Nana, everybody said, Obedia Tempe.
Exactly.
And then they.
Because they are not supposed to be exposed to certain things. Now, apart from the language, I mean, when we break it down on the language part, then we come to the actions involved. Are people being threatened? What is the context of the threat in the making of that content they are producing? Is it harmful for the kid? At what age should a kid be exposed to such threat? You understand? Then we come to maybe the sex scenes. You could have a film that is rated maybe 12 that has got sex scenes there, but it is in the wisdom of those that will sit behind it, guided by the principle that we have given, to know that this sex scene, if a 12-year-old watches it, we don't think it's supposed to be a problem, because there's no actual coitus, there's no kissing, they are just touching and maybe fondling. So, I mean, 12-year-olds should probably get to understand these things. So it's them. They have the guidelines based on the LI. So when they pick your film, they start marking, okay, language, okay, yes, then they take at which category it should be. Then they come to actions, they come to maybe
Are you
violence.
following?
Yes, I am.
They come to violence, they come to maybe sex scenes and all this stuff, nudity and all this stuff. So after
So this
that,
explains the survey you wanted to know.
Yeah, that's what I
how
wanted
they
to come
arrived at who we must. Yes.
that's why I wanted to come in. So after that, we are able to conclude that, okay, this film is 12. You understand? Or maybe this film is 18. But when it goes to NS, it means that me in baby.
The issue is, I mean, for me, he was saying that 5 people watch the movies, and they are the ones
No,
who
per movie or per
yeah,
content.
yeah, no, per content. So maybe if I've brought a movie and it is PG or
No, if you bring a movie, you can't tell us it's PG.
They have to.
they have to classify.
Yeah.
Thank you. So then you watch the movie and you say, okay, maybe like 5 out of, like, I don't know the background of the people who are watching. Also, I want to know what it entails, like what the process entails, not necessarily, okay, I'm just watching, okay, this is a sex scene, this is a sex scene. So that's it. I mean, what's the background of the people? How do they
Okay,
know?
so
How
the
do they,
people who are going to
what
sit
is
on
the-
it are people who are being trained, one, based on the law.
based on the law.
Yeah, that this is what the law says for a strong language. You understand? This is what the law says for a violent scene. This is what the law says for a sex scene. So they are being trained on that, number one. And there are people who also have experience in the field already. So you have your experience and you are being trained with the law too before you are allowed to go and say. But again, the 5 people that watch, what am I doing your job for you anyway?
Today we are loaning.
I feel like I'm doing your job for you.
The way he's so relaxed and
I feel like I'm doing.
Nation building.
No,
nation
Charlie,
I
Charlie.
feel like
It's part of
also,
nation
no,
building.
I
but
feel-
this is education. So
I feel like
Okay, so Ria, let me
psycholo-
finish that place for you. All those people are in because when you go to the team on the classification board, it's got almost everybody there. It has got chiefs, policemen, military men, imams, pastors, a whole lot of people on it. You understand? Every facet of the society, we've got a representation there.
There are
So-
psychologists there.
Exactly.
Okay, that's what I'm driving at,
Oh, yeah,
because I don't think that anybody knows like the psyche of every 12-year-old or every 32-year-old person.
But
No,
there's
you
understand.
there's
What you
always,
can do,
there's
you
always
see-
an average assumption that you can have.
Exactly.
No, I know about the average assumption, but if I am a policeman, okay,
Yeah.
or a woman, and I'm sitting on the board, I know nothing about psychology. I know nothing about the diverse effects maybe a particular movie would have on
kids or
an
adults.
individual. You understand? So if I watch, all I see is, okay, that's nudity, that's not nudity, that's fondling, that's not fondling. Okay, and then I'm like, okay, I'm putting it out there.
No. If you listen to the
Well-
explanation I gave, I said even if we pick nudity, there are categories of it.
No, I'm not
Even-
saying, I'm
yeah.
not talking about the categories of nudity.
Okay.
I know that some nudities are much more graphic than
Because
others.
somebody say you are looking nude.
Perfect. Do you understand?
You
But
know
to
that?
me, I am not looking nude.
I haven't
Exactly.
seen it.
No,
You
but somebody
understand?
say somebody will
Where
sit back
they
and
who?
like, why is
So
she?
I'm
why
not
she
seeing it unless
Where
he
they-
takes it off. If
takes what off?
Takes, hey, wait,
So
takes
your
waiting
idea
off.
of nudity is when there's
It's
a lot of
different
flesh,
from my
right?
idea of
Good.
nudity.
And so Sadiq too will not be comfortable if it's in the extremist part of the Islam world.
Right.
When they say
Exactly.
this one
Yeah.
is nudity.
No.
So that is why we have
Precisely
all
my
these people
point.
there, so that everybody will contribute to why we should classify this as nudity or not.
Yes.
Okay, so let's end it this
my
way.
problem was just about the psychological part.
Right.
Okay,
Because we
psychology,
could
Papa.
no, because that's I always say that mental health is like overlooked when it comes to this part of the country or this part of the world. You understand? Everybody might say, "Oh, it's okay. Oh, it's okay," but you might realize that, I mean, there are films, I've heard of films that were shown at other parts of the world and people could not stay in the theater. People were throwing up in the theater
Yeah.
and stuff like
But
that.
in other parts,
it was
it was okay.
exactly. So I want, there's someone who has to be there and be
But you
like,
know what's funny? Even with the 5 people that watches the film, they've also got a supervisor. So after you've classified, there's another person that will also have
That
to
is
watch
what
and
I
be
was
sure what
looking
you
for.
classified is really
Exactly.
how it's supposed to be.
well, that is what
That's
I was
why I said I
looking
was doing
for.
his job for him. See how he likes it.
Because
It's unfortunate for
I didn't hear because
Okay, but you know what's funny? But
you remember
Annie,
I
last
asked
one,
them just 5
Yeah,
people.
last one. When this
Shall I have
law,
very little time.
when this law was being worked on, finally before the passage, you see, a correction we need to make in our system, maybe in the near future, the Parliamentary Select Committee that met specifically asked for Sokri Safo. Even though it was NDC time, they specifically asked for him to be part of it.
You know, we are very generous. We like to
Exactly.
expand
Exactly.
our scope.
But
These losers won't give up.
now, I want this out. Everything is them. It's your move, breast. I know you're begging. It means I'm begging.
Wait, but the 3 Music Awards, for example, is coming up very soon, as well as the VGMAs, and I'm sure other award shows. These classifications, would they affect live productions?
Live productions.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. For TV, we have an arrangement whereby there are one-off classifications that maybe you have a content like a content on TV that runs every week. All we need to do is to discuss and see
For example, a reality show
a reality
in
show.
Stroma.
Yeah, in Stroma. So it's one of, we only classify it, we give it to you in Stroma, is universal. So you are guided by that ratings, and the producer and the director will always be guided by it. Anybody who comes on, whatever you say or you do, you know that this is for universal audience. So you know what to do and what not to do. Yeah, that's how we do it.
So live shows where it is universal, but we don't have special effects or machinery that will bleep when a person is presenting an award or speaking and uses foul language, what happens to it? It's universal. But hey, my kids want to see Shatawale, they want to see Stoneboy, they want to see Samini, and we're watching, and all of a sudden, Ola comes on TV to announce the winner for what, and he says, well, and the winner is...
Be careful
Yes.
what you say.
Yeah, the winner is...
he should say things that I'm likely to say.
yes. For example, my boy, Tulenki.
Yeah,
He's some proud F boys. And then he doesn't mention the F, he doesn't mention the letter F, but he gives us the real word. And there's nothing that will censor or bleep what he says.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, it's classified universal.
Yeah.
Don't you think
these
it
are some
goes
of the
be-
challenges we will...
So, Andy, even now that the law, these people have been so slow and cowardice in implementing this law, we have always
you've done
been
a good
believing.
job this
Can I
morning.
finish? Can I
Why
finish?
are you forcing yourself to...
I'm not forcing me. Can you see
go
how relaxed
in-
I am? How relaxed I am.
Jobs.
I mean, you issued the same
Unnecessary.
thing last
This is
year.
unnecessary.
You issued the same last year.
Yes.
Last year,
And what
July.
happened?
And then
Andy,
giddy,
I
July.
explained to
You
you.
bring your movies. Giddy.
You see the
What
hypocrisy.
Mommy,
You know what happened.
I don't know
you
what's
guys
happening.
know.
Me,
You've been part of some of the meetings. You.
because nyamia do me nyimdia kakra. So let me continue.
You know what happened. And
So,
let
yeah.
me take this opportunity to...
Let me say that maybe even now, you see, most of the television station and even the cinemas that we're operating, they have their sort of in-house kind of classification. People probably don't understand how it's done, but some are doing well, like multimedia, they are doing well. So with such event, we expect that the producers of the event will be guided by these principles and be able to caution anybody that comes on stage that, look, this program is PG, we don't do this, we don't do that, we don't do that.
Yeah. But Ola, Andy, let me take this opportunity to thank Giba because they've been so, let's say, good to us in terms of having interactions, meetings, and discussions where we've explained things that I would say most of their members were having challenges with. And so I'll thank them for all the supports and where we are now. Yeah.
Andy,
Are they cooperative?
Oh, yeah.
Andy, I also wanted to add this one thing too that I was trying to fight for when it came to the psychological stuff. I mean, when you watch, one of my favorite television stations to watch on DSTV is E. Okay, and when some shows are about to be, televised, they go like, if you have photosensitive epilepsy, do not watch it. Do you understand me? And I think it is one very, very innovative thing that they've added to it because they actually think about their viewers and what they might probably be going through when it comes to that ailment. So that's why I actually wanted to bring up something like that.
Yebedro, sabre the area. It's your status here and Nantia. Oh, San Manina, Yebedro, what it say, or move free more. Na ye baby in ya. Oh, Yebedro, what it, Titai, why?
Okay, so let's wrap it all up. Now, TV stations that show movies, for example, there was a new movie coming to America 2.
Yeah.
What happens?
Well, as per the law, they are supposed to classify it. And you see, before we classify a content for you, you must be the right owner or hold the license for it.
The signee or the license.
You understand? So if the TV stations don't have the license, it cannot bring it for classification. And if you don't classify the show, then the law takes effect.
And the law even gives to the point that you can even, your equipment for production can be seized. Yeah, so you stop broadcasting, you stop working. That's what the law says. But Annie, one important thing about this whole thing is that it also helped to reduce so much foreign contents on the screens because most of them are, stolen. like the film you just spoke about.
Ola,
Whoever showed
I
it.
think we've not gotten there yet.
What's it?
You're
We've not
jumping.
gotten
You're
there.
jumping the
Yes,
gun
No,
for
no,
Showbiz.
no.
So,
Why? I said it will
kakra.
reduce it. So what no can say the person has to show something.
Yes.
So enyame dia samema.
Aye.
It is
But-
a very
but
reduced. Say major.
communication, you know, side no.
I dey watch him there means in communicative bibia.
We've not gotten there yet.
So be who
For now, we are only
Step.
yeah.
All right, let me read some comments. Brandy, good morning. I'm Francis in Italy. Please, I just want to ask. Instead of always giving out warnings to people to do the right thing, can the classification board change their style? I mean, give out a reward to those who will bring their products,
I want to be terrible.
a promotion package, a TV showing voucher, something small to push the people. But if you always want to warn the people, do you think it's the best?
That's
Well,
what we understand.
that's a
Is
message.
it
That's what we
promotion
understand.
package like what?
That one there.
Like when you come to classify near Mosikana.
Maybe
And
promotion.
let's like
And
giveaway.
promotion.
Wait.
Classification, promotion.
That is like giveaway.
Good morning, Andy. Please ask the man in the studio about wrestling program on TV. I'm Jehovah from Old Asherman Pure Water. Wrestling, yes.
You'd have to be
It
classified.
must be
as well.
classified. Yes. Right? It's sport.
It's sport. It's
It's-
classified,
what-
but it is violence.
Yes.
And
Wrestling.
and
Yeah, wrestling
you
is
have
classified.
It's
kids.
classified.
Kids
Wrestling
as
is
And we have
young
kids,
as
yes.
And it's not a live program.
Because me, I used to
Mind
watch
you,
it.
it's not a live program in
No, it's
Ghana
not a
yet.
live
So you definitely
Also, because
Wrestling
you're
is
acquiring that
classified,
content, you have to classify it.
But no,
So
says
what
good
about
morning, Andy,
kids
and
who
the whole
have
crew.
wrestlers as their idols. Like someone might say, "Oh, I like Bobby Lashley," but it's and
Also, no,
he's
I had
Why
a-
we
it
don't
didn't-
Umfri Ghana na?
What's it? Bob Uncle shoemaker.
no, he's a wrestler. Or okay, John Cena.
My son's
Yes, and maybe the child is around.
That's your
6
son's favorite.
6
Yeah,
years
because,
old or
I've been
5
telling
years
you this
old.
story. My son, he was around 5 years, and you have these irresponsible TV content managers who were showing wrestling around 3 o'clock,
Responsible, you mean.
3 p.m.
3 p.m. Yeah, they come from school. They put
Even
on
me, when
TV.
I was young, I used to watch it at 3 p.m. after school.
Yeah, but
Yeah, he
that
has been
was
like
so
that.
irresponsible.
Yeah?
And you have
He
this
has been like that
innocent
since.
boy climb the wardrobe, and the junior sister was lying down
You
there,
don't know so.
and he jumped. Don Cena
Hey.
and landed, missed the bed by
An inch.
But do you realize that they also have these adverts that the wrestlers also come and say the disclaimer
the
that
kid-
do
the
not
kid
try this at
the
home.
child is
Kid
still
don't
young
know.
to-
It's too
He's
young
not.
to-
He's
to know
young
this.
to even understand.
Do not
this
try
boy
this at home.
Yeah.
dropped and broke
The arm.
Yes.
Obebunu, send the papa in your.
Open you up.
Eh.
To
At
plan
that
it.
time, Papa Nso hustle okrum.
I remember just somebody
Yes.
also jumped like that. Some stairs.
Parental lock to so.
Captain Planet.
You understand?
No, parental lock. It
Well,
means the
free
TV.
on air
TV. He's talking of
Free on air
TV.
TV.
Answer.
Yeah.
It was on E, right? ETV.
No,
That's
no,
what they used to
please.
show.
Please, who there?
We have
I beg
Bubu
you.
Dina,
Papa,
yeah,
yes,
Bubu
sorry,
Dina.
yes,
I'm sorry.
you
I'm
see,
sorry. I'm sorry.
This is what we've gone through. And there's this video I shared with
Yes,
you the other
yes,
day. I was
yes,
talking
yes.
about
The
it.
child
A child hung himself. All these things are being shown on TV.
You know, there was a commercial of a guy who had gone to a company looking for a job. So it was a warehouse, and this guy was wearing the wrestling. You know, they have this uniform like a swimsuit. So the guy went there, and the manager was taking him around. Any question the manager asked him, he said, "I lift things up and put them down." I said, "Ah. Are you sure you can do this job?" "Yes, I lift things and put them down." So, "Okay, have you seen the machinery? Can you drive it?" "I lift things and put them down." So the manager was walking through the warehouse. "Do you know this door?" The guy says, "Yes, I lift things
and put them
He
down.
opened the door for him. The guy stepped out and then he locked it. Crack.
Go and lift and put it down.
Step out.
I drink, yeah.
And then the guy comes right at the door and he says, "I lift things and put them down. Do not try this at home."
At home. No.
But me,
But that's an advert too.
Yes,
to
an
fight
advert.
People against, you know.
and I'm looking at it and I'm asking, so do not try this at home. That the children lift things and they put them down. He's talking of
Yeah, no, me and try it.
heavy machinery. But these children,
They don't understand the
On
context.
Tiasi.
Yeah. But Andy, the last thing I know say,
and let's also be responsible. You see, for me, the program managers at these TV stations and the owners of these TV stations have children.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So what you are feeding to my children is also affecting your children.
What if they don't
Some of
watch
these-
this?
some of
What
these
if
news
they don't
stations
watch
are-
their own stations?
They don't watch their own
They don't
station.
watch.
Some of
You
them,
know,
some of
that
these
time,
news
bro.
stations have program managers. Or do
They don't even
it?
have
They don't
it.
even
This
have
laptop TV stations. No,
The
they
ones,
don't
the
have
ones that churches are running, those people do new
They don't
ones.
have it.
Massa, if they have programs managers, proper ones,
But
why
did
would
you,
they
did you touch
have
on Session 20, the
a new movie
pornographic
and show
films?
it?
No, not yet. Ben Noble says, good morning, Andy and Oku. If this will be possible, it will take a great amount of time.
And dedication.
Jerry Doggo says, Andy, I think Mr. Sog is not getting what you're trying to say. During halftime, these ads play along. Sometimes some have nude content. Are they going to hold the TV station showing the match? Because at this point, the TV station is just airing it and they don't have control of the ads that run through the matches. Somewhere, not all of them. They don't even, look, some of them don't even check.
That is, they don't check, but they do have a control.
Supposing we're watching EPL on
On
DSTV,
yes.
who is going to check?
Andy,
And they are playing their ads.
before that content comes to air, there are people sitting down watching it and putting these adverts and lower tiers there.
No, they're showing it.
Eventually, when it comes here, the receiver or the ones that
The consumer.
the one that retransmits to you also has a level of control. So if it's that point, meet me here, the advert for
You just
Frato.
mentioned that most of these stations don't even have.
No, we are talking
programs
DSTV.
direct-
you.
But
You
does
mentioned
DSTV
That's what I'm
fall
saying.
under your jurisdiction?
Of course.
Okay.
So long as it is a television in Ghana, showing something in Ghana here, it falls. And DSTV is part of Giba, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So they have control. When it's time for that advert, you can change to a different advert. When it's done, you come back to it.
Well, we hope it's well implemented.
No, we hope. We will make sure.
Yo,
Let's do it
yo.
together.
Samuel Apage says, please allow Socrates. These are done. These are done here in the West. UK and others do age rating or certificates. And these are done easily here, but it's based on parenting too. Dennis Sadu says, just 5 people are going to determine movies that Ghanaians should watch or not. Nonetheless, the criteria for horror movies not likely to allow such productions. Good morning, Andy. At the Begwa, please. What is Ria's handle? I know who na Apache we. Yeah, please.
What is it?
My handles.
Maria hype.
Eh?
What you can share the more hype, you know.
Please read. You there catch it one.
Which of my handles? I'm Ria_Anakwa on Twitter and Ria Anakwa all together on Instagram.
Hey,
Yo.
boys, to go feed them.
Joseph Lawella, he said Ria's looking good this morning. You can ask Uncle Sok
Ah,
because he's closer.
Oh, so
no, I protest. I don't think that's what the person sent. Andy, where's the message? Let me
Yeah, actually.
She knew.
you can ask Andy.
Pandora Service says, Andy, Dusty, you are kosher, yet you are you're telling Ola he's on heat. Did I tell you you're on heat?
No, I don't think so.
Dear Simni.
Andy, there's a question here. From Selikem and Escobla. He says, please explain for me. Is the classification board going to determine what time I air a show on my station?
Yes.
We should be careful we don't become content managers with this board. Secret. He's asking if the classification board will determine what time he airs a particular show on a station.
Yes.
So, Selikem, you've got your response.
Yes.
It says, Brandy, I would want to know what is the punishment for media houses that go contrary to the laws that have now been implemented. Oji Wangana says, Andy, not all
Can we
movies.
help with that?
Yeah, sure.
Ola, if we can go to 27.
On them nearby. Can what the house?
Oh, that's mean. That's
But
mean.
your man who asked, and he said something, we should be careful we don't become content managers.
With this,
How is that going to?
no, you see, often if you realize there's a certain genuine fear that this does not become a mafia
Control,
board of
a
a sort.
It can't be.
Yeah,
It
no,
can't
no,
be.
there's a possibility. That's so, but
In fact,
I take your
in
word
fact,
for it,
in
but
fact,
there's a possibility.
it's good
How
Sadiq has
is that
mentioned.
going
Listen, it's good Sadiq has mentioned it. There is a question here. Sadiq, please, sorry to cut you in here. Please listen. Gardner_C19 says
28, right?
27. You fought FDA for banning celebrities from endorsing alcoholic beverages, and you, these same people, want to censor creative works before they are
We are
put
not
out.
censoring.
Well, I'm reading
You can't
what.
censor. The
Please.
censor is unconstitutional.
Yes. What difference does it make? Or because one is about alcohol and the other is about decency? Well, so in this case, the person is thinking that you are doing mafia work.
How is that going?
No.
No, that's what he is thinking.
So I think I will need to put some things right. Classification is accepted globally. Classification is important the world over. It's important that you are able to classify for some very, very good reasons. But the fear of people is that often with state organizations running, it can be used against, and that's why you clarified very well with the 21 days principle. That says that within a particular period, if you are not able to classify, we will you would have to go ahead.
Yeah.
But within the same period, there's a possibility it can be abused.
How?
We've seen that instances. For instance, recently, there were two people that were going to premiere their movie before the new directive, right? And then there was a GTA directives to these particular people to not allow them to premiere the movies at the same venues where
That issue
certain
is
things.
a different issue. To
No, I
altogether.
get you.
Don't bring it here.
Oh, shock it. We're not. I agree with you on this classification thing, but I'm citing an example to say that clearly in that process there was a certain abuse of the process. So there's a certain fear that just sometimes you know how, particularly because some of these appointments are political appointments, it can be used. It doesn't mean that it can. You are going to do that.
Okay.
So a lot of people are sounding that caution or fear that yes, it's a good thing. Yes, we subscribe to it, but let's be careful. Some people do not hijack it to become their own way of, you know. It's a very genuine concern.
Let me assure you that is why we have this criteria here. That if I should classify your movie, and you even don't agree with that classification, you have the right to even appeal. Do you understand? And the criteria is here. It's public. It's just unfortunate that people don't bother to read. Do you understand? You don't bother to. I was getting away with all these films because I know what the law is. So when I'm shooting, when I'm on set and I'm shooting or editing, I know what I can put in there, how I put it in there. If there is one individual, Uncle Ken will tell you, who have given the classification board a hell of time, it's me, so Christopher.
And then Andy, I mean, somebody asked a question about DSTV. When you look at the list of platforms that are supposed to be classified, it doesn't include DSTV. It doesn't include what you call the DTH, direct to home. When you look at it, the list is free-to-air televisions, cinema theaters and movie centers, posters, publicity materials, film library, and new media. Even though there are asterisks on the new media and film library, but it doesn't include DSTV or any of the DTH platforms.
It needn't have to be so
If
specific.
you look
Yes.
at it, there's no
By that.
DSTV.
Yeah, there's no DSTV.
You don't need to mention DSTV.
No, but the law. This is
is
from
the
the
law.
law.
Sorry. No.
the
This
law.
is from the law.
It's the law.
So what if in the future there's a different DSTV? Okay, now there's start time. So we mentioned DSTV, we mentioned start times. No.
No.
You mentioned the category.
What about-
within which
what
you
about
mentioned
the
before.
DTH?
Yes, the
We don't need to
DTH. There's
mention
a
that.
category. DTH is a category.
You don't need
There's-
to
I'm
mention
coming.
that.
There are the DTTs and there are the DTH. The DTH is direct to home. As it stands now, unless maybe you seek amendment of the law, the DTH are not part of the categories.
Why?
Yeah, but that's the law.
Do you access it in your home?
The DTH, yes.
So why is it not part?
That's what I'm saying, that your law, as it
Your
stands
law
now,
may not capture it.
and
I agree with you, but the law doesn't have captured it.
We go to the section 27
Yeah.
and let's have that education.
list,
Okay,
Yes.
that for future now is at
Yeah.
28 though.
Yeah, it's at
Okay,
28.
yeah, 28
So
to
if we
1.
come from 27, then we get to...
Yeah, 20. Let me go 28 one
okay.
first. So he said, where a person exhibit a film which has not been passed or classified by the board for exhibition or exhibit a pornography film, the board shall seize the film, number 1, and the equipment used for exhibition without limiting criminal proceedings that may be instituted against the exhibitor and apply to the High Court for forfeiture to the state of both the film and the equipment. 2, a seizure of the film and the equipment is not a bar to any criminal proceedings that may be instituted against the exhibitor. What it means is that if you exhibit without being passed by the board, your stuff can be seized. Full stop.
That's the transmitter.
Yes.
So now what I'm saying is that, yes, the classification committee or the board can classify some of these locally produced content that end there. So let's say Aquaba Magic, a new platform. There is the day that's on it. You can classify it for the day to go there.
No,
But
the
in terms of the
classification
platforms,
is done with and for the content owner, not the platform is being shown.
but I'm saying
on.
that per the provisions now, DTH as a category is
Where
not
are
part.
you reading from?
Take a look at it. Look at the
Which
where they
section?
say that the visual content shall be classified
Which
for the
session
various
is that?
platforms.
Help me too, because it's been a while.
This schemes, yes. Okay.
Which session? Do you know the session? I can refer to here and then
You
address it properly.
talk about it.
Oh, okay, all right. So it's not in the law, I guess, because I don't remember seeing such classification stuff.
All right. Now, are you going to charge for classifying content?
Oh yes, there's a token. We will put that. You
okay.
see, our communication is being done strategically in stages. So for now, here we are, but
You
we
are
will
just
come out
making-
to announce it public because it's public.
So, like, how much?
We've not changed the rates. It used to be 150 for movies.
150 Ghana.
Yes,
And that's
for
how much we were
movies.
paying.
That's how much we were
How much
paying.
is come on? Uncle Ken, me ciao.
That's how much we were paying.
So,
but
so what about music videos?
Oh, it's less. I think about. I don't have the figures here, but it's less.
Less, like how much?
He said he doesn't have the figure.
Yes.
No, it's like how much? So, say you are
Like bare 10
Round
CDs or so.
figure.
right?
It will be about 50 or so CDs.
So, Kumarika for a video. yi.
Obi Ansman's own chat.
No, I me
Unya 50 CDs may classify you.
Charlie. My ship, Charlie.
Why is she and watch your video?
Charlie.
No, one of course. And you see every month, know about classify you. Yeah, classify and one spare.
No, once I bring it
Yeah.
per material. Yes, sir.
Yes.
So if I'm putting out, let's say, 50 videos in a year, that means I'm paying for ABR. Yes, sir. No, that's what I want to know.
Yes.
Right, thank you.
Yeah, I wanted to ask.
But that's
Yeah.
and you need to put it in. Okay, so Andy,
Yeah.
we've always spoken about how the NFA, for instance, is supposed to find some of the money to operate, and then there's a certain long, what's it called, overdue LI that has to be, operationalized. Now, when the LI come and you're supposed to come with the creative arts, the film fund, these are some of the sources of the fund.
That
So it's
is
important
why
that so create. Okay,
I was expecting us to have that discussion.
okay,
That why
for
is
how-
the
how we help you
NFA
this?
not functioning? Why they complain of money when you have your this money sitting somewhere for you? That's what I
Understand
say,
that
it's
it's okay.
cowardice
cannot
and
speak to that
laziness.
matter. I'm his lawyer.
He can't answer to that question.
No,
Is that
you
what
need
she's
to speak
saying?
to that matter.
No,
No
but
comment.
you know,
Ola.
Ria, you are
Andy,
reasonable.
at this point, you
I
need to
will
control,
speak to
you
Ria
need to
alone.
control the,
No
But you know
the
what?
show
No comment.
because we
You don't want us to talk
distractions.
about that
Let's
one.
be focused. And I
Let's
thank
focus
you
on classification.
very much. You and Hagla, I thank you for this opportunity for us to have this public education. Let's make sure that you don't let us derail.
He wants to
But we
focus
are
on
talking in
classification.
industry.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Oh,
yes.
Jesus.
Right.
Parents
So
are
original
so
slide.
excited today.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
listening
Yes,
to
I'm
this.
They
sure.
were excited
Original
in
slide. Now,
June
let me
last
let me read these
Yeah,
ones
you know.
quickly. Original slide said this education must go down well to the last person. And Wafa Socrates is not explaining it well. He's just reading what's written, which is not enough. We need to understand what's written, the in totos.
Into to Bambi.
So please, you should kindly explain it well, okay?
Thank you very much for. We will do that.
Step it says, Miss Ria was right to ask about the criteria to determine the classification, but in the case of horror, I think it is generally classified as 13 plus, sometimes even 18. Wasn't what was read after the classification for Universal movies? If so, it seems right. Eagle Eye 7 says, does Socrates do research at all? I'm asking because anytime I listen to him, it seems he makes his submissions based on his logic or emotions. I think he should read wide and embrace evolution because I feel he still has an archaic way of seeing things.
A cake near there.
A cake.
Got the cake.
The last time I checked, it means informal. Yeah,
Junior Toothpick says the movie industry is down, really down. All these laws are not going to help revive them. I think they should focus on creating platforms where people can market and sell these contents and not these laws to limit their productions. Oji Wangana says, not all movies should be holy because some of us want it sexy, smooth, and creamy.
I like that.
Gideon Gini Marco says, Wafa, the problem is, do they have enough people to classify and implement the content? We all know there are laws in Ghana, but implementing it is a problem. D for Dabeng, my fellow Ghanaians. Okay. Ria, George Quay says, as for the do not try this at home, they even say it on Pornhub. if you like,
customer.
he says, if you like, ask Sadiq.
Oh, thank God.
They say Sadiq
Customer.
They say Sadiq
Hey, Masa, please.
They say they go porn.
Hey. George Quay send a message.
They say they act song.
Hey, why are you not paying attention?
No, I want to. I just heard my name.
You heard your name. You didn't hear what was said. He said, as for do not try this at home, even on Pornhub, it is said. Then we should ask you.
So I know they try some things at home. George, me they try things for. If you give me that girl to add,
Hey, Master, come up for them. He said, Killer, please tell Ria I'm still waiting. Why?
Hey,
what?
George,
For what, say?
like you are.
For what, say?
But,
On that note, Andy Dusty, have you paid to classify the 1K video? They must charge you more, at least 200 Ghana for every heavy backside display in Austria. Hey, George Quay, you are my manager, you should know. We're going for a quick break. Uncle Sok, thank you very much for coming. We're going for a quick commercial. When we come back, 3 Music Awards partners with TuneCore to present Most Streamed Song and Act of the Year. We'll be right back. Please stay with us. Now, 3 Music Awards partners with TuneCore to present Most Streamed Song and Act of the Year. The 3 Music Awards is partnering with leading independent digital music distributor TuneCore to present the 4th annual 3 Music Awards, Most Streamed Song of the Year and Most Streamed Act of the Year at the 4th annual awards. The new partnership underscores 3 Music's commitment to awarding music and talent that reflect both the current state and future of music. TuneCore is owned by Paris-based Believe, and together they distribute much of the world's digital music. The 3 Music Awards continue to push the envelope from a marketing standpoint, says Sadiq Abdullah Abu, CEO of 3 Music Networks, organizers of the awards. TuneCore will provide the nominees and data for the 2 categories and will reward the winner with marketing support as well as a 1-year free distribution. Additionally, TuneCore will sponsor a promotional video for the winner. Commenting on the partnership, Chioma Onochukwu, head of TuneCore West and East Africa, said TuneCore is thrilled to partner with 3 Music Network for the 3 Music Awards. These special awards will help us identify and celebrate the achievements of local Ghanaian artists and help them reach the next level in their careers. This partnership offers a lot of exposure to the artists who will receive the awards. We're glad to have TuneCore as a partner for the 3 Music Awards at Sadiq. The 4th annual 3 Music Awards takes place in the Ghanaian capital, Accra, on March 27. So let me get to you, Sadiq.
Yes, Andy.
So this most streamed song and most streamed acts of the year, what's all this about? So if I work so hard, yet my music is not streamed so much, then it means what? I'm not enjoying these goodies?
Yes, I mean, and of course, I mean, if you worked hard and even though your song is not in the most stream or you don't get to win the most streamed act, you still may be eligible for any other category that exists beyond these 2. So what we've always done, Andy, like you said, is that we've always, I mean, worked hard to ensure that the categories that we create reflect the now of music. And the now of music today, unlike before, a lot of conversation about streams, most streams, who got this numbers, who got that, and all of that. And it reflects the now and future of music. And so, I mean, as an awards and also looking to have that social and industrial impact, we created this category to be able to reward the most streamed song and then the most streamed act. And we partnered with the biggest aggregator as it is now to present this.
Right, I see. Congratulations. I think it's a very good move.
Thank you.
Very, very good move.
Yes.
I think Diana Hamilton won something.
Yes, for the women's branch.
Okay.
And the women's branch is a platform that was created to help amplify the issues women face in the industry, and most importantly, reward women that have worked so hard in commemorating the International Women's Day on 8th March. So every year, every year we present the women's branch. Last week's women's branch show was very, very fantastic. We had performances from Ifri Grace, Yaya. Yaya's performance, I see, is still gaining the talkability. It's still driving home the point that we've always stood for, which is inclusion and representation, particularly for women in industry. And on a day such as the International Women's Day, it was important that we put that showcase to be able to highlight the achievement of women related to the music and the arts. But it's also important to note that TuneCore recently launched in Africa. And they are having operations in West Africa, East Africa. Of course, Ghana is part of the East Africa. And as part of this push,
Ghana is part of the East Africa.
they just launched in Africa. So there are heads for Southern Africa, and then there's a head for West Africa and East Africa. And as part of their push into Africa, partnerships such as the ones we have with them, it's important to be able to, provide that much needed exposure to talent, and most importantly, offer them that close association that they need to enable them gain a lot more value via streaming.
So what? Yes, I saw you.
I'm confused about something.
Okay.
These 3 music awards people, you have something for women, platform women. Aren't you discriminating against men?
No, we are not.
You are.
No, we are not.
You are.
Well, let him explain.
We are not. So, I mean, we've always held that a lot of there are systematic problems or issues that held women at bay in the industry.
How about men?
Well, I mean, men also do have theirs, but
Yeah,
when you
so
consider,
why do you create something to support women?
No.
and then you
There's
want
something.
The
Secret.
industry is already male dominated.
Yes, the industry is male dominated already.
There's no law that says that it's male dominated.
No, it's a matter. It's a matter of
What's
law.
stopping you
It's
from?
not
It's a matter of policy.
law.
It's a matter of
It is
policy. So the point is
policy.
this. Yeah, let me make this point.
Equal rights.
Finish,
Yes.
please.
No, he won't finish.
Yes.
Equal rights.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
This is discrimination.
Yes.
You can't do that, please. I
No.
beg you.
It's not.
No,
It's
no,
not
no.
discriminatory.
A
Also
particular
because of the
group
fact
is
that-
marginalized
No.
in the
Exactly.
society.
Yes.
Exactly.
You
So
are
that- so
supposed to be able to.
So in this
form
case, the
a-
men are marginalized.
No,
No.
That's
the
what Socrates
women
is
are
saying.
already.
it's already male dominated.
Yes.
The women are
We
already
should push the
marginalized.
males down and bring the
Women
We are
are
not pushing
underrepresented.
male
No,
down.
women are
We
underrepresented.
are just
No,
amplifying
women
women.
are
That's
underrepresented.
all.
So the point- yes, the point that we are always looking to do.
What man can do, a woman
Woman
can
can
do
do
better.
Yes. But of course,
Equal
So
rights.
we
it's still-
need to be amplified to be able
Ola,
to
it still
show
doesn't stop.
you that we.
Ola, it still doesn't stop. It still doesn't stop. It still doesn't stop.
Okay.
Equal opportunity.
Equal
Ola, it still
opportunity,
doesn't
let's
stop.
stop that.
Yes, so that's what we are trying to
There's
do.
no
That's
equal
what
That's why doing a
opportunity
women branch,
as
do
it
a
is.
men's branch.
You're-
There is no equal opportunity
you are
as
doing.
it is.
There must be a
So
men's
now they are
branch.
Just
going
be a
to
men's
create.
branch.
Yes.
Now
Let
we
me
are
explain.
women's branch.
Yes,
Go on.
then we know
Let-
that you are
You
giving
came out with
equal
30
opportunity.
whatever women there in music. Where are the men?
No,
Where are
but
the men?
see, the point
And
we're always making-
3 women
It was
music,
International
3
Women's
women
Day,
music
right?
That's
awards.
International Women's Day.
Well,
You have
it's
to do
when it's
that
International
activation
Men's Day,
to
we'll do
enable
it.
them
Right.
Is
driving
it all
the-
like
Human.
okay,
What are you
but-
doing?
okay, listeners.
But there's no
okay.
equality in the industry as
Okay.
it stands.
3 women music
Men have an
awards.
edge over the women.
Hitz FM.
All right, listeners. Now,
So
well,
should I explain?
unfortunately, logic is not here. Socrates Safu brought the heat.
Should I explain now?
I thought you had explained it enough.
Okay, well, I mean, if he says so, but I mean, I needed to just drum home that point that, look, when you realize that industry is male dominated and you realize that women are underrepresented in industry, then it means that there's no equal levels here. The equality isn't there. So it doesn't stop any part of industry to drive an initiative that's just to ensure that women are aptly represented in the industry. And so that's what we've sought to do with the 3 Music Awards Women's Branch, by highlighting the achievements, by highlighting the hard work that they put in as women, and most importantly, using that to make a strong case for industry to do better relative to representing women and giving them the airtime. Andy, I've always made the point here that when you do a scan of Hitz FM within the day, for instance, it's as if it's intentional. Out of about 100 songs that they will play today, you would have about 80 songs that are male dominated. So our call, for instance, is that make a conscious decision to say, even if you really want to drive the equality like Socrates is saying, why don't you intentionally make it 50-50? So that some of these systematic challenges that women face, where somebody says, I need to have access to your body before I give you airtime, or I need to have this thing, can be reduced, because then now you are basically trying to take out some of these systematic problems, and most importantly, to be able to give them the opportunity to rise and do better in the industry. There are a lot more women who've got the talent.
We will do it. We will do it.
You see,
We will
I'm
do
very
it.
supportive here.
now you agree with me.
We want number 2. We want number 2. We want number 2.
Andy, now you understand where I'm coming
Yes,
from.
No,
I'm
it's unfair. It's unfair. There is no deliberate attempt.
That's the equality.
There is no deliberate attempt.
3 music awards. Because it has become a 3 women music award.
It's a lie.
No,
It's
make it a
not
women's
women.
award.
We become pro.
award.
We are proud pro woman. We are proud pro woman,
award.
and we are not. We
If
are
you
unapologetic.
boycott, we will support.
Okay, hold on.
If you boycott,
Listen,
we will
music award.
support.
Listen,
Because it's a 3
You
women
people always say
award.
1:7. We
All
will
right.
support.
All right,
Award.
Ria, please.
Well, the
come.
women's branch is different from the main
It's
night.
3 women's
and when you
music
look
awards.
at it-
pre-events in the men.
Oh, but
They are about women.
The main night itself. The main night itself is dominated by men.
Can you imagine?
Hey, please come in. Hey, Era.
So now we have
Ria.
to take a conscious decision to ensure
I said
staff.
come in.
Pardon?
Come in.
Yeah, so I'm very proud of you, Sadiq, for this initiative. I mean, I'm so proud that you mentioned the kind of problems that women face in the industry, the marginalization, the systematic issues that women face, and now at least you are trying to make a conscious effort to make it equal. You are bringing equality into the music industry. I would like to congratulate you. It is equality, because at the end of the day.
So if you set one for the female, how about the male?
No, the male are already there.
there.
We are trying to catch up with you.
Where are they?
We are trying to
Do a
catch up with you.
top 10
In the
musicians
nominees
list.
list.
Do a
Have you
top 10
seen
musicians
the
list.
nominees list? Please, I am on the floor. They didn't mention your name. They didn't mention your name. They didn't mention your name. Thank you very much, and I hope that the women are going to take the opportunity to actually work hard and also come to par with the men. Thank you very much.
They are actually working hard.
Yes, I'm done.
We just need to highlight it.
Sadiq, Andy, thank you so much. I mean, like I said, 1 year, so it's good I came back here to just be part of the show. I miss it sometimes, though.
I know, right?
Yeah. And
It's a full house today.
Come again.
It's a full house today. Me too. I should do one year. Me too. I do only 1 month.
1 month.
Or 1 week.
Yeah. The one thing we need to appreciate is the style, the beauty, and the energy that Three Music Awards is bringing to the industry. I think we need to pay attention to that. For years, we've been crying for a certain competition, a certain competitive award in the music space, and they are bringing it. And I'm watching from behind, and I've seen, okay, these are very intelligent, creative young people doing something different from what we have known. Like the things they did with our boy from Kumasi, Kofi Jama, and the rest of the guys. I mean, the set was crazy. It was mind-blowing. I was like, okay, so we can do this. You understand? I think there's something.
When I saw it, I thought it was something 3D, not knowing the set was built.
It was built.
Okay, he actually helped
the
us
behind the
to
scenes.
know that wasn't 3D by posting the behind the scenes or predodo. You understand? Because if not, we would have known. We would have told us, hey, this is 3D. This is but giddy no I post it.
But he didn't want any conversation. Yeah.
No, but it would have been very good for conversation. You understand? But I mean, I appreciate what they are doing. I think that we need to support them very well, because in the next maybe 2-5 years, it will be bigger than we are seeing now. Let's be part of it.
Right, so Three Music Awards, as I said, congratulations, Charlie.
Support me.
You guys.
What
support today?
He wanted to support me, but he
Andy,
didn't want to
I will advise Sadiq that this time he should send a lot of tools that fee to the venue before, so that we don't experience what happened.
But that be 2 years ago.
That be 2 years ago.
That was 2 years ago.
Now we won't collapse.
This one, no collapse. This one, no collapse. The funniest part is, the funniest part is, I think I was the DJ that night, right?
Yeah, you're the DJ.
So when I got there, his wife was busily making up. Like,
No, Andy had come out there earlier, and he sees that they drink energy drink.
so I got there in the morning to check my set. I'd gone there for the rehearsal. I got there. This guy was drinking energy drink. I said, why?
That's
You chop,
one thing
and
you should
I
watch.
could see. 'Cause I was watching his
drink.
eyes. The eyes were red
I no
or
sleep.
yellow or
I no
something like
sleep.
that.
I
Like,
no sleep.
Charlie, why? Charlie, 2 days in Ipanayo.
And he was thinking the energy drink was going to do what?
Just keep him in.
Just
the-
keep me running.
We should watch that thing. Too much of that thing.
Yes,
You can kill
yes.
you.
You rather need water, more water,
And
and
not
sleep.
and you think energy drink will be go for by energy drink? No, akota akusio.
baby.
I think that event, Andy.
baby.
What?
Yeah, Andy, that
What?
event,
Who call on Jenia?
Andy,
What
that event.
Well, experience is the best.
That event gave me a certain rude awakening that I've been telling a lot of people. I think that when you are younger, and when I was younger, I used to work so hard on events. Like I go do the events, we'll finish 4 a.m., 5 a.m. The next morning, 9 a.m., whatever, you're up and running. But lately, when you're growing, I realized that even the smaller thing that you do, you get a lot of talent. So that's the point where you have to rely a lot more on experience to put together events and everything. And so at that point, yes, at that point, I just got that rude awakening that no, you're no more the 22, 23-year-old, 24-year-old when you're running events. You're not growing. You need to slow down. And that's something that a lot of us that are doing events, particularly in this, yes, it's something that we all need to imbibe. Take it easy and be able to think through things and plan it ahead and make it happen.
I remember a particular year I shot 13 films in a year, and
Wow.
there was this woman from Dutchmark.
Yeah. The trailer.
No.
Okay.
And she said, Karen, he's called Karen Hammer. He said, you know what? In about 10 years, you can't do this.
You can't do that. That's true.
I challenged her. I was like, why
No,
can't
you
I
can't.
do? And today, here am I.
You
One
can't.
cry a problem.
Charlie,
can't.
to stand behind the camera, and most of the films, let me confess today, I was the cameraman.
Really?
Yes.
DOP.
Doing all those things. Yes. I handle the camera. I do everything on the set.
No, you can't do everything. You can't act.
No,
so
I'm not a
take that
good
one
actor.
out.
That's one day. I'm not a good actor.
So you are the
I
cameraman,
handle the
light
cameras,
man,
directing,
the director,
Yes.
and the props
Editor.
man. And now he comes to do
Makeup.
the editing. A better industry.
I forgot he was even shaving some.
He was even shaving people's.
But
pubic
Andy,
hairs.
I think one of these weeks you guys need to be able to bring in Yaya and Efe Grace, particularly Yaya.
Yes.
I mean, if you look at the things that the extra mile she goes in honing her craft and what she was able to do with the women's branch performance, for instance, it's really, really good. I think you need to shine. I think you need to shine the spotlight.
You are
I think
sounding
you need to
very
shine the spotlight on
misogynistic
Yaya.
right
and
now.
Equally
Efe
bring
Grace.
your
yeah,
talk.
yeah.
You
It's
should
very-
equally bring your talk.
Oh yeah, bring your talk. Your talk is coming to Accra. I think this week.
Considering what he's also
Yeah, you need to bring your
achieved
talk.
with
No, but Ola, we've also got the leaders of the new school.
Who's
Leaders
that?
of we've also got, apart from what we have for the women, there's always that thing that we have.
Yeah, the leaders of the new
Now
school.
they all your
always
We are done. Thank you all very much for listening to the program. God bless you all. But before I go, let me tell you that EcoBank is still in the business. All right. With EcoBank Pay GHQ out.
This is Hitz.